His name is Serge Attukwei Clottey, and the yellow gallon is his game. For some years now, he has used the yellow gallon to create some iconic art pieces and installations under the theme AFROGALLONISM. He told us more about his choice of material and what inspires his work when GBC 24 caught up with him at his workshop tucked inside his family house in La.
Yellow gallon, also gallon, is originally imported into the country carrying cooking oil. After the oil is used, the gallon is used to store water. With his artist's eye, however, Serge Attukwei Clottey found another use for the gallon.
We started with using the gallon as a canvas, put them together and paint on them, maybe portraits, and so we can move the portrait like a puzzle. You can move them and the expression change. The cutting was to reduce the volume, but still regulates the consumption.
He said his use of the gallon is to create awareness on the dangers of storing water that way.
You store water in them for like 3 days, it gets contaminated because of the plastic, and especially under the heat condition. So, and I decided to find a way to get rid of them in the system so that we can go back to a different way of storing water, like the clay pot and all that.
Since the project started, he says he has used over 30,000 gallons to create his iconic pieces. But where does he get them from?
We buy them from the dam sites and they sell them in kilos. We also trade, we have people bringing in like the broken ones, for free. So sometimes we find them around and we buy as well.
He employs about 15 studio assistants to work with him in cutting and then piecing the parts together with copper wire. He explains his form of art.
It's a form of art that deals with materialism. Plastic represents waste. It has been an issue in the country. As an artist, for me, it's available materials that I can manipulate in a way that I want. But what makes it an artwork is the process.
Serge also dabbles in performance art with his group known as Go Local.
We actually do street performances and all that. Besides the studio, these are my studio assistants, but some of them are part of the collective. They are not artists. They are people like individual backgrounds, different career. But coming together as a collective, it helps them to realize the sort of potentials that they can use art to address.
Originally a painter, Serge says exploring other ways of expressing himself in this current contemporary art space has been a great experience. He said his art is inspired by his life growing up on the streets of La and Jamestown in Accra and his experience of studying in Brazil.
Childhood memories also helps this time because you've experienced different space and different inspiration. So I always refer myself to my childhood.
He tells us about his most recent work, Follow the Yellow Brick Road.
It dealt with the migration aspect of my family history. Since I'm very critical, I decided to use my work that is the plastic to demarcate that and have a documentation of that.
Like other young artists, he has faced his fair share of challenges, but he encouraged budding artists to hold on to their vision and create art that satisfies the global art market. Serge Attukwei Clottey has exhibited his works across Europe and the US.